Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. Brandon Uranowitz received his first Tony Award nomination for playing aspiring composer Adam Hochberg in the glorious musical An American in Paris, and is nominated again for his terrific performance as Mendel in the stunning production of Falsettos. And I caught up with Brandon here at the legendary Sardi's just days before Tony's big night. Thank you for sitting with me here at Sardi's.
Thank you for inviting me to Sardi's.
Totally. I've spoken to your other co-stars of Falsettos, and they said that this was like the perfect once-in-a-lifetime show of doing falsettos. Was it the same way for you?
Yeah, it was lightning in a bottle. It was that confluence of like absolutely everything that you dream of growing up and, you know, getting started in theater, just material that you love, castmates that you love, fans that you love, creative team that you love. I mean, it was perfect.
It was really quick, too.
It was, you know, lightning in a bottle, flash in the pan. I don't know how many other like sayings I could come up with. But yeah, it was very quick, but, and I could do it forever. I could honestly do that show for the rest of my career probably and be totally happy. But that being said, it was very short, and I'm just so grateful that it happened. And that I have that memory like forever burned into my brain, you know what I mean?
I love how close you all are, because I always run into all of you on the opening night carpets. You go as the Falsettos family.
We do,
right?
We talk every day. And I'm not joking, it's literally every day. I talk to them more than I talk to my parents.
Isn't that great?
I don't know that my parents would agree, but
Totally.
yes, it is great. We just love each other so much. And that, you know, every time I do a show, I fall all sorts of in love with my castmates because when you create something together like that, it bonds you for life. But this one was particularly special, and I'll be friends with them until forever.
Forever.
So, yeah.
You know, it was the perfect melding of actor and material. Perfect Mendel. I mean, just really, really great.
Thanks. It was. Bill and James just wrote this piece that made it very easy for all of us. And being able to act with all of those other incredible actors on stage also made it that much, you know, it wasn't really that much work, to be perfectly honest, you know? I mean, there was obviously work done and we did our homework, but they make it very easy. And I can't say that for everything that I've ever done, you know?
Yeah.
It just kind of came naturally to all of us, and there are no other scene partners like Stephanie Block and Christian Borle and Andrew Rannells and little Anthony Rosenthal.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, let's talk about William Finn and James Lapine. Right. So different. What was it like being in the rehearsal room with them? I keep asking your co-stars.
I mean, it was like, you know, it was like a pinch me moment every day, because I grew up listening to Falsettos. I grew up listening to, you know, Into the Woods, which was James. You know, it's like these are childhood heroes that I can't believe are actually in a room with me, like giving me notes, you know? And what was so incredible about this whole process was they evolved as people from when they first did it in the 80s and the 90s. And so both of them were so open about approaching this piece with fresh eyes and a new lens and a new take, and they had, you know, had no preconceived notions about what they wanted this version of it to be. So whatever we brought to the table, they were just open to playing with, and open to, you know, my Mendel was not Chip's Mendel, and, you know, Christian's Marvin was not Michael Rupert's Marvin, and they were okay with that. And if any sort of small little tweaks needed to be made to the material, they were open to making them, and it was just a beautifully collaborative thing that, like you said, was very quick, but you know, those memories will be lasting forever. It was amazing.
Sure. I want to go back to the beginning, growing up in New Jersey. Where did your love for performing begin? Was it you and your sister putting on shows?
How did you know? Yeah. Like, yes, it was us putting on shows in the basement. I mean, like, listen, I was terrible at sports.
We all were.
So yeah, no, I mean, I think most of these people can relate. But you know the other option for me was performing, and luckily I grew up right outside of New York, so my parents brought me to the theater all the time, and it started with Peter Pan and seeing all of those, flying by Foy, and I just wanted to fly on stage, and I haven't yet, but hopefully I will. But that was sort of like what planted the seed. My mom said she had never seen my face like that. I mean, granted, I was only like 3.5, so there wasn't that much to compare it to. But she said she'd never seen my face like that. She was like, okay, we're going to pursue this a little bit longer. And then it was me and my sister putting on shows in the basement.
With fog machines? What was your lighting like? Tell me everything.
You did your research.
I always do my research, yes.
Yeah, so here's the thing.
I called your mom.
Listen, Ben, did you? Did it take forever to get off the phone? Yeah. Here's the thing. Allegedly, Ben Platt asked for a fog machine for his birthday and got one. I was not so fortunate. I had to use a humidifier. And so I used my parents' old 80s humidifier, which was like a little bit weak, but I discovered that if you lit it from the bottom, you could see the fog, but like it didn't really last. So we had like hints of fog in our numbers downstairs with like legs made out of sheets and like backdrops made out of quilts. Once we did like an outdoor sort of Cirque du Soleil type thing on the swing set with like flowy drapes and swings. That was fun. That we did to Pachelbel's Canon in D. That was fun. So I think as like a child, I sort of fancied myself a director and kind of hoped to maybe, weasel my way into there. I mean, I would love, Joe Mantello is kind of like the ultimate career in my opinion, because he, got to perform and now is, one of the best directors we have.
All right, I want to go back to the Tony Awards, because this is your second well-deserved Tony Award nomination. Your first, of course, came from An American in Paris. What do the Tony nominations mean to you?
We work very hard as actors to just like get a foot in the door. And there's just like lots and lots of rejection along the way. And that can be very grating on people and on your psyche. And it can be very depressing at times. And you sort of feel like you don't belong, and it's sort of, sometimes it brings me back to times in like high school and sadder times when I felt like I wasn't a part of the cool club or the popular kids. So the nominations for me just sort of mean that, at least for the time being, my respect and love and admiration that I feel for this community that I work so hard to be a part of is... those feelings are mutual, at least for now.
Yeah.
And that is such a validating, encouraging, life-giving feeling. Just knowing that this community that I respect with every fiber of my being feels that way for now. I mean, at least, everything is fleeting, but it makes me feel like I belong a little bit, and that's really, really nice.
Well, so well-deserved for that.
Thank you.
You were so funny during this interview. I mean, you should go on do a comedy show.
I've thought about it, but I have to say, stuff like stand-up really, really terrifies me. For some reason. I don't know. I mean, I love to make people laugh. It's like my favorite thing in the world is just know that I'm giving people joy.
Yeah.
But it's really scary because if you're trying to make people laugh and they don't laugh, that's horrible. So
It's like crickets.
Yeah, it's like, it's like when you forget your lines in a show, which happened to me during American in Paris twice, and you feel like your skin is melting off and that you're going to die at any second, and it feels like it's going on forever. So that scares me. But I did my show at 54 Below, which was a celebration of Bill Finn's stuff. And I tried out some material. So maybe I'll take it on the road. Who knows?
We have to talk about the White Room. I had the Hamilton cast, and
Did
I
they
asked
talk
them
about
all.
the White Room?
Everybody went to the White Room in Hamilton, which means they all went up on dialogue.
Yeah,
or
I
songs or
heard a little
whatever.
rumor about Pippa's adventures in
Everybody went to the White Room. So you went to the White Room during American in Paris?
Oh yeah.
It was tell your fans at Broadway
Okay,
World.
so guys, here's what happened. I had been doing the show for a while. I did the first reading of it and the workshop, and I took it to Paris, and then we had been open on Broadway for over a year, and so not to say that I was on like autopilot by any means. I like to, it's my job, so I like to think that I'm in it and present and in the moment every time. But on this particular day, I guess I had taken for granted how much energy it takes out of me. So it was a 2-show day. I was like, I'm going to go to the gym between shows. I'm going to exercise. I don't need to nap. And then what was supposed to be like a short sort of, burst in the gym turned into like the whole break. I was just like really feeling my oats and like really like feeling energized. And then I realized I didn't really have a lot of time to eat. So I grabbed like a little something, and it was like soup. It wasn't even like, I was like trying to be really skinny, I don't know. And so I got back to the theater, dead from my workout, malnourished from not eating, and like in really heavy wool clothing on a stage with really hot lights. And it was the first scene after the opening ballet where my character gives like a lot of exposition, like really sets up the trajectory of the show, like sets up the plot. And like 2 minutes in, something came out of my mouth that made literally no sense. I don't think it was a complete sentence with like a subject and a verb. And Max von Essen looks at me like, and we're just in silence, like just...
The White Room.
The White Room. I went into the White Room. And like luckily somehow Max got us back on track. Thank you, Max. And we continue in the scene. And like another minute in, it happens again, and I have no idea where I am, who I am, what's going on, where I've been, what my name is. Like, I can't remember anything. And Max looks at me, this time less panicked and more like, I'm going to murder you after the show. And I'll confess something. I very seriously considered for like a nanosecond in my panic, I very seriously considered just like fainting. Just like going full medical emergency, you know what I mean? So that they could hold the curtain, just to like save myself the humiliation. But I was the bigger person. I was like, actually, you know what? I'm in the White Room. I'm going to own it. And then all of a sudden, without any plot points really like articulated, Max just said, all right, that's enough. Play my song. And I looked down at the conductor, the lovely Todd Ellison, who is basically silently cackling in the pit, just like vibrating, cannot keep it together. And I go to like, and he's not even ready, so I had to do it again because I was like playing the piano. And then we just went right into I Got Rhythm with like no setup in front of like 2,000 people. So I hope that those 2,000 people eventually got what was going on. But it was really scary. I don't like the White Room. I don't love it at all.
So listen, back to this. What are you enjoying the most about this time of year, Tony season? What are you enjoying the most about the award season for you this time around?
Last time I was so surprised to even be a part of it that everywhere I went, I was just like a kid in a candy store just being like, oh my God. And I like felt a little uncomfortable sometimes just because, again, I was like, do I belong here? What is this? This time, since I've been through some it before, I'm really able to like take a step back and soak in every single moment, and just being in the same room with all these amazing, monumental talents is like not something I take for granted. And I don't think I took it for granted last time. I think I was just so shocked and like starstruck that this time I'm actually able to acknowledge everybody in the room and thank them for their work and just like chat. I just love being going through to all of these events with all of these people that I just adore so much. And this time around specifically, just being able to experience all of this with my fellow castmates is like the greatest gift.
Yeah.
Just because we love each other so much, it's just an excuse, and since our show's closed, it's an excuse for us to hang out a lot. And I really like that. But this season was so jam-packed with incredible work that it's just a really, it's a great way for us all to come together and just celebrate each other, which, you know, granted, I'm not busy, my show's closed, but a lot of people are really busy, so it's rare that we get to be in the same space, in the same room, to celebrate this season's record-breaking, you know, impact on the community in New York and on Broadway. It was amazing.
Everyone hates his parents, don't be ashamed. You'll grow up, you'll come through, you'll have kids, and they'll hate you too. Oh, everyone hates his parents, but I confess you grow up, you get old, you hate less. Everyone hates his parents, this too shall pass. You'll grow up,
I'll come through, I'll have kids,
and they'll hate you too. Oh, everyone hates his parents, but kid, I guess you grow up,
I'll grow up,
you'll get old,
I'll get old,
and hate less.